So, do you have to actually go onto YouTube to watch it live, or is the whole point of YouTube that people can watch it after the fact?
Both. We're gonna be live on YouTube, and we're gonna be. They can watch it after the fact. It'll go to our channel, our YouTube channel, Oceana Coffee at YouTube on YouTube. And the more people that follow us, obviously, the better the channel ranking will be, and more people can learn about lots and lots more things. Music. I've been reminded of that too many times. Okay.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Why is that up there? All right. We'll get some music happening. See if I can get that started. What are we going to listen to today?
We haven't done like a Dire Straight vibe in a while. Let's do that.
Okay. Let's see. We'll just roll with that and see what we got. Let's see if it comes up straight as Money for Nothing. No, it didn't. All right. We're going to learn today. So this is for anyone. This is for home users, obviously, but this is for any espresso aficionado. We are going to kick it up a notch. I'm actually going to take this little home machine, and I'm going to show you, if you really, really want to geek out about espresso, I'm going to take you there. So today is going to be a little bit more technical. There are some requirements of the tools, and I'm actually going to use a lot of manual systems on this machine. I'm actually going to go for weighted shots, proper volume, the whole shooting match.
I think this is an interesting subject. Before you make anything, can you just tell us, I just had a conversation at the shop. That's what's making me think of this, because I've been training this week. What is espresso? Like, I feel like to someone that doesn't really know what it is and how it's made, it's some like magical, super difficult, crazy thing. So What is it? What are the basics?
It's a great question, because espresso is a concentrated coffee serving. You know, really, what it is it's a small amount of coffee, extracting the most out of the dry ground as you possibly can to create a more intense coffee that can be served. However, you can have it as a straight shot. You can add milk to it, or you can add water to it. I remember we were talking. I heard it was during the week that we were talking about Americanos and where Americanos started and how they started. And it was about the soldiers going to Europe and fighting in the European theater, and they couldn't handle the American soldiers couldn't handle the espresso shot straight up, so they used to add water, and that was where the Americano came from and developed. But espresso is in Italy. In Italy, the definition of espresso is 7 grams of coffee with a 1 ounce liquid output, and that's a stock standard espresso shot. Over time, it's evolved a lot. The standard is still the standard. A double shot is 2 ounces, and obviously with SCA, with the SCA standards, it's 14 grams of coffee with 2 ounces of water, or 60 mil. But that varies and ranges. I've said this many times in the competition circle. It could be 18 to 22 gram shots. When we talk about grams, I'm talking about how much the portafilter will actually hold. So depending on what you work, our shops running the traditional machine are running 18 gram baskets. But that's espresso. It is coffee served under pressure. It's a measured amount of coffee ground fine and served under pressure into however you want it. You know, it's the basis of a latte, it's the basis of cappuccino, it's the basis of flat white, it's the basis of Americano. It is when you buy it from a traditional coffee shop and store and cafe, and even if you go to Italy, it is that stock standard. It is not a 32 ounce caramel macchiato. It is an espresso shot, and served as the standards. So
Alicia's here. Good morning.
good morning.
She
We're
loves
live.
sneaking out.
We're live on YouTube too. So jump on over, subscribe, like, see what we got going on. But like I said, we're going to go take this one down the rabbit hole. Espresso for a stock standard home machine. You get this is what it comes with. Grip handle. It actually comes with multiple baskets, singles and double shots. Machines like this, and like this is the Calphalon Temp IQ with the grinder on board. And even if you don't have a grinder on board and you've got your own grinder, when you're setting up these guys and you want to calibrate them, the best thing to do is have a scale. This is where I was taking this today. We're going to go a little bit more in depth. I use a Brewista. This guy here is made for coffee. It helps do pour overs and timing your shot and timing your pour overs and all those fun things. So you don't really need this guy. But this is a regular home scale.
You need some guy.
This is some guy. This is an Amazon special, $20 maybe, not even. As long as it measures grams. This is the key for really pulling it down. Measures grams. What we're going to do today is I'm going to measure. I'm going to look to see how much this actually holds. I'm pretty sure this one holds 18. I've been over here on this one before. I think this holds about 18 grams of coffee. And then what I'm going to actually do is show you guys. I'm going to move away from volumetric shots, and I'm going to do one round with the machine on its settings, and then I'm going to go back and do a full manual run and do extraction by weight, which is where the competition circles are at and all the big guys use on a regular basis. The super geeks out there running shot by weights, and actually the big commercial machines, one of my favorites, the Black Eagle, it's called a gravimetric, and it has little scales in the platforms, so it's actually weighing the shot as it's making it. So it's pretty cool, and it adds for great flavors and great extractions. So with Oceana Coffee blends, I run a 2-to-1 extraction. So if I'm pulling 18 grams of coffee into my grip basket, I'm looking for a 36 gram double shot. Alright, so not a single, it'll be doubles all the way through. So see what we've got. So what the first thing to do, grab your scale, grab your grip handle, and zero out the scale. And so you're at neutral now. I'm going to do a little experiment as we go along, but this time around, I'm going to just hold it down. I'm going to guess. I'm going to get this to settle down a little bit and guess how much I've got in here, and then make adjustments along the way. I've thought about how I'm going to do this today, and I'm going to add another dimension to make this a little easier for us all. So you can just see it's piled up on top of the nice little mountain. I'm going to settle it down, and then we'll see how much coffee came out of that, so we get a rough idea of what's going on. Well, that's not bad, 17.5 grams. So I'm going to cheat a little bit here and just hold the lever down. Give me about that much. See what I did. 18.5. I can probably deal with that. Do this. I'm gonna get super geeky today. All right. So I'm actually gonna.
He's a super geek.
I'm gonna roll with that. I'm going to roll with that one at 18.5. And as long as I make sure that that's my standard for the day, I can do this. There we go. Look at that. 18 on the knocker. Down onto the tamp mat. Make sure my tamp's nice and dry. Using a Reggie Barber special Oceana Coffee Reggie Barber. Thanks, mate. First thing I do, there's lots and lots of tools. Like we got asked about this last weekend. There's a leveling tool. I'm not, honestly, I don't Lots and lots of people use them. I don't. It's personal preference. If you want to spend $180 or $200 on a tool to do what I'm doing right now with my fingers, then great, you know. So what I'm doing here is I'm making sure the bed is level. I'm feeling it around with my fingers to make sure that the surface of the top of the tamp is level with the grip handle, and then I'm going to add a little pressure. Give it a twist to make sure it's clean. Lift it out. Nothing left on the nothing on the bottom of the tamp. And I've lost music. So we're going to stick this in. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'll give it a quick flush. Make sure the nice warm water's into the heating blocks. Make sure the grip head's flushed. Stick this right back up in there. And I'm going to just check on this machine just to see every time if you get a brand new machine, this is a great way to check and see what the machine's actually doing and see what it is outputting. So I'm going to hit double shot. We're going to check on the machine. I'm not going to time my shots just at the moment. Let's see what kind of shot I pull. You can see it's running pretty quickly. What I'm really worried about this time at this moment is volume. So I want to check to see what kind of volume I'm getting out of this machine. And look at that.
Alicia's asking if you need to calibrate how much the machine allots for the grinder, or is it manual? This one
is all manual. Most of the home machines are all manual until you move up into things like the Oracle. Like, you know, this machine on the shelf is what, $5.99. Machines like the Oracle, the Breville Oracle is like $2,000, right? They're about $2,400, $2,000. And it does the tamping for you, and you can preset your measurements of your dose of your grinder. It's neither here nor there. I see the advantages of having a grinder on board, especially for the home machine. I also see the advantages of having set aside and specific grinders for, you know, individuals. I've got a grinder sitting over there that's got it's the Mazza E. It's the mini Mazza E. So it's got the shot doses. You can program the shot doses and how much coffee it outputs for each one. So.
But if it's not putting out the right amount, you have to adjust it. And that's the problem with some of the more expensive
fully auto
machines like the Oracle. It's really hard to fix it.
The Oracle is very, very automated, and it's quite challenging to make adjustments on that machine. There's a place of going automated, and there's a place of you know, if you really want to geek out as a coffee person at home, there are other avenues. I think more more efficiently and definitely more budget friendly to get a better product out of the drink. You know, if you're up in that price range, why not buy a little Rocket Espresso or buy a little Silvio Pro, like the Rancilio Silvio. It's a great little machine.
It's almost like there's a point where if you're going to spend that much on a Breville machine, you honestly should just start looking at some of the commercial brands that make home models.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I think machines like the Rancilio Silva, the Simonelli Oscar, I think it's called, the Rocket. You know, all those. If you're moving into that, if you're running into that zone of you can afford $2,000, or you want to go down that path of spending about $2,000 to $3,000, then you really ought to switch over to a full boiler set machine and pump and boiler on the internals, and So if you're going to go down that path, well, if you look at my show right here, this is an Eversys collector's edition. What goes on inside the machine. It's a cool shirt. I have to thank my mate Mark Crawford for getting his hands on a little piece of nostalgia, I guess. All right, so we know volumetrically the double shot is putting out a double shot, which is really cool. So that's the first part of our calibration. Second part is that we know roughly what's going on. We can actually measure our amount of coffee. We can guesstimate with our little mountain there. It looked like the shot was pulling pretty quick to me, so that's the next part of this. We'll do another double shot, and we'll work on timing. Remembering that this is the only part. The grinder is what we really want to change the time of the shot. It is what is the controlling portion of the shot, and that's what we really want to bring it all down to. We don't want the human factor being the shot timing control, and we don't want the machine to be the shot time control. Obviously they can't, because they're volumetric and they're set in how much they output. So, saying all that, maybe I'll use this. Just ditch those two Oceana shot glasses. Who's I was just trying to think who owns Espresso now. I've been talking to someone with that.
Oh.
Kimberly. Is it Kimberly? Anyway. No, they're under their brand. Anyway, here we go again. So the goal is, again, we're going to go for an 18 gram shot. I want this shot to run out over about 25 to 28 seconds. And we're guessing, we're going to have a bit of a guesstimation. Let's see what we got. See how I did this time. Oh, 17.8. So we'll roll with that. 2.2 of a gram is not going to bother me. Alright, let it settle down a little bit. Put the tamp in the top. Let the tamp settle down and look to even it out. It should just be a nice, run your fingers around. If it's not, as long as the tamp's not sitting cross-eyed in there, good amount of pressure, give it another twist. We've got a nice clean surface, and we'll run a shot time on this one. See what we got. Get my stopwatch up here, and we'll just see how we're doing for grind. This is, right now what we're doing is we're calibrating the grinder. Alright, so the amount of time that the shot takes from the time you press the button, which I can hold this one down and press start, go. So the time I press the button to the time the shot is done, I'm looking for that 25 to 28 second range. And me personally, I can tell by the shot tails how we're doing. This is probably about a 20-second shot, roughly, round about. And so 18, 19. So we're a little bit too fast, and the way to adjust that and way to bring our shot time down, we want to bring it to, like I said, we want to be in that 25 to 28 second range. Up here on the grinder, these guys have given us numbers, so it's calibrated numbers. Most every grinder's probably got some kind of measurement on it to give you a reference point. This guy's measured, and we're sitting right now at about on a 28 marker on this grinder. And also, what I've remembered, or what I forgot to tell you guys, I've just changed my coffee. So since this morning, my coffee has changed, and I put a different blend in there, so which makes a huge difference. The density of the beans and the where the beans are from, and the origin, the density, the roast level, all plays a part in your grinder. So if you switch beans halfway through the week, and your shots just go left, they go completely left field, it's the beans. So you've got to make sure that your grinder is being adapted and adjusted to suit the new beans that you're putting into your machine.
I get asked sometimes, this is going back to the shot, when you want a double shot, you double everything, right? You double the amount of coffee that goes in. It ends up being 2 ounces instead of 1 ounce. Why doesn't your shot time need to double?
Extraction, for the most part. Yeah, really. There's ideally what you're looking to do is you're looking to soak as much of the that's not completely true. You can pull a short or single, but ultimately what we teach is the double shot time.
30 seconds.
30 seconds,
for a good
right
shot.
thereabouts. Yeah. I'd say mine's 25 to 28, but yeah, I have to look back on that theory. I don't subscribe to the single shot being full blown 25 seconds. It could be, and the reason I say that is because I know, if you slow the shot down that much through that much coffee, you are going to get over extraction.
Really extracted.
Yeah. I have to look at the theory books. I always thought that they did that. That was what the standard was. They made the single shot a 30-second shot too, and I'm kind of like, I don't know. I think I always played with double shots, so I don't pay a lot of attention.
Double is the standard, but I think when you start to explain it to people, and then everything's starting to get doubled, but your shot time, you're still aiming for the same shot time. That can be confusing to a new espresso person.
Yeah, so clarity. I am talking about double, always talking about double shots. I have to. It's one thing I've never really worked on it. I've never really worked on single shots.
Single shot?
I don't do singles. I don't do singles for me. I don't do singles for you guys.
Our kids get singles.
Split doubles.
Really?
Well, yes, it's half of a double shot is a single shot. But I see what you're saying. You don't ever actually make a single shot.
Alright, so what I've done, and you saw me do it, I'll move a grinder and I'll adjust the grinder while it's operating. It's very important on espresso machines, espresso grinders, and I'll show you something else as well. On espresso grinders, don't do that. Espresso grinders really should be adjusted while running. It is quite important, and the reason is because the adjustments are so fine, and because of the clearances inside the grinders, especially the commercial machines, the clearances are so fine that you do not want to be making an adjustment without the grinder running, because you can jam the motor. You can jam the burrs and you can jam the motor, which will burn out the minute you try and use it. So my suggestion is to make the adjustment while the grinder is running. And ultimately, especially in a commercial machine or a larger style grinder, once you've made the adjustment, run some more coffee through so it's all clear. So the chute's clear, the beans are clear, the grinder's clear, and then you can start fresh with the grind setting that you've just adjusted it to. So this is what I forget all the time, so I need to put it back on my scale, hit 0.
I know you already talked about grinders and why it's important to have one, I think, or having one on board versus off board, but I think just in terms of espresso in general, you have to make sure you have an espresso grinder. Like if you come into the coffee shop and you want us to grind your bag of espresso for you, there's no way you're going to be able to play around with your shot time. Like it's just kind of going to be what it's going to be based off of your tamp and how much you put in.
Yeah, that's a really important thing. If you're going to this level, if you're going to the level of making espresso at home, it's really worth the extra couple $100 to get a grinder to suit the purpose. It's exactly what Amy said. Making the adjustment, this is where you make the adjustment. You make the adjustment on the grinder for the time of the shot. If you've got a grinder, if you've gone and bought coffee from us, or you bought coffee from another coffee shop, and you're taking it home, or you bought it from the grocery store, and it's ground for espresso, you're pretty well stuck. The only variable becomes the pressure of your tamping after that. There's only so much that you can there's only so much pressure you can apply to get the shot down. So let's say you bring the bag of coffee home, you put it in the grinder, you run it through, so you probably put it in your portafilter, you pull your first shot, it's 15 seconds. You go back, you go, okay, I can't make any adjustments because I don't have a grinder. I've got a bag full of espresso ground coffee. The only other thing I can do is add more pressure. You add more pressure and you pull your second shot, you may be up to 16, 17 seconds, and that's it. You're stuck with a semi under extracted espresso shot. So espresso, if you're into this, machines on board, this is like, there's an evolution of espresso. You can buy you can buy automatic machines. You can buy espresso machines. You know, you pay for the. I think this guy's got a little brother with without the grinder on board, and you pay about $3.99, I think, for the little one without the grinder on board. Then the next step up is this one is for $5.99 with the grinder on board, and then you go up to the next level again, and you'll have another machine. Not with these guys, but like I was saying, if you wanted to invest in espresso, you go for the espresso machine and the grinder and have it as a pair. There are some companies out there who make some great grinders and some quite affordable. But that's the other thing too, you have to make sure that whatever grinder you buy has the capability of grinding fine enough for espresso. Not all of them will. And you definitely will never get quality out of a blade grinder. That's not going to happen. And what else? There's Baratza. I mean, the other thing I use, I've got a Baratza over here on the countertop. They make great grinders, and they make a huge range, everything from drip filter to espresso style, espresso purposed grinders. So definitely look for that, and definitely, you know, whatever the budget can afford, but definitely go for a decent grinder, good to decent grinder. If you can afford a good one or a great one, go for the great one. Alright, we got 18 grams. We're looking for our 25-second shot. So I've made our grind finer. Go. And it's from the time you touch the button, like not touch it, but the time you engage the machine by pressing the button is the time that you start your shots. Now see, look at that. That is what we're looking for. 2 fine looking rat tail style shots, and some good crema, great crema, and you can see it in the shot, actually shot tails as well. And look at that, we're at 25 seconds, 24 and a bit. So we can make one tiny little adjustment to the grinder, and we're going to be bang on the number. And you can see the difference. You guys saw the first shot that I pulled. You can see the second shots and the shots as I dial it in a little bit better. The crema is incredible. Like, you can see the big difference in the cremas. The first ones were very wispy. They went away very quickly. They were a little bit blonde, what we call blonde. They're a little bit lighter in color. These guys are rich caramel honeycomb style color. And the time is right there. So this time, we're just gonna make a tiny little adjustment. Probably one number. And you don't have to make very big adjustments with espresso grinders, so small adjustment, all set, all done. Alright, the next thing we can do, so now we've calibrated the machine. The machine is now, we know that we can put 18 grams of coffee into our group basket, into our basket, and our machine volumetrically is going to deliver a double espresso shot on the 2-shot button, and it's doing it in the time that we want. So we've got 18 grams of coffee coming out of the, we're measuring 18 grams of coffee coming out of the grinder into the group basket. We've got an eyeball idea of how much coffee that actually is in the group basket. We know that our machine outputs a double shot on the 2-shot button, and with our grinder adjustment that we've been doing, we now, this next set of shots should be my 25 to 28 second shot times. So this is what it takes to calibrate. This is what it takes to calibrate espresso machine at home. It is super simple. So some really, get yourself some calibrated shot glasses. You can see them there. Actually, I wonder if I've still got my work ones with me. You can buy sets of them on Amazon as well. I run around when I do commercial machine setups. I've got a pair of glasses that I run around with that have all the measurements that I need on the sides of the glass. But this one here is the same, 1 ounce, 2 ounce. It's single shot, double shot. So this time, if all is going to plan, I'll grind out 18 grams of coffee. Do you want a coffee before you go? Yep. Ready to go, Kat?
Picture day.
So, the other thing to keep your eye on too and be aware of is that when you change your grind fineness or coarseness, the amount of coffee changes. The what do I call it? The volume, right? The actual volume of the coffee going into the group basket changes. You grind it finer, it takes up less space. That one takes some getting around from time to time. It's 18 grams right there. I'll make sure my tamp's dry. Lay it up in there. Let it sit down. It'll actually sink down a lot further. I also have to remember that if I need to calibrate my arm and myself to not pressing down so hard because the grinds are finer. If I press down the exact same weight that I was using before, I will compact this a lot more than I need to. So I'm gonna.
Alicia's talking about the sand analogy, and I love that one. I always use that when I'm talking to new people or when we train our team. It is that you've got a colander full of rocks or a sieve full of fine sand.
I know the volume's going to be right, so I've been measuring that and checking on that. I'm just watching for the time now. Close. We need one more adjustment to make it perfect, but this is going to be good. This is going to be a good shot anyway, and a great coffee. So we'll do a quick steam.
Best oat milk on the planet.
Best oat milk on the planet.
Look down the back of the box. There we go.
Keep your eyes open for this one. It is shelf stable. It is with great ingredients, and the ingredients you can recognize every single ingredient in the box.
And this is a new product. You may have tried Planet Oats from your grocery store, but this is very different. This is developed specifically for coffee and for use in coffee shops.
Yeah, this one was it's been a long project to be involved with. This one is built for the coffee community by coffee professionals. So a lot of years, a lot of development, a lot of testing, and a lot of perfecting of the recipe. No, before. Let's go. And this one steams really, really well. Get it to settle down a little bit. That's just the lack of my skill of steaming. Not very good. I'm not the latte artist. There you go. Set to go. Alright, so a couple other things. If we really want to stretch this into the geekosphere, we can push it a little bit further where we can start weighing our shots. So we're looking for, we can do it by extraction. I'll actually set this up and I'll do it this way. I'll zero out my scale. I'll grind my coffee. So I'm looking for 18 grams of coffee, and I'm also looking for a 36 gram double shot. I'll show you how we can easily achieve that. Try and grind up a little bit extra. Oh, 18.4. We'll take a little bit out. I know it looks ridiculous when messing around with that, but you want precision, you want to geek it out, let's step it up a notch. Alright, that's 18 grams, we'll let that settle down. Tamp. And the kicker this time is, what we'll do is we will put our scale up here and we'll put our shot glasses, we'll zero them out. Hopefully the scale will fit up here. What I'll do is I'll do this. It might not fit with the grip head in there, so I'm going to zero that out. So we've got that tamped. Let's see if we can do what I want to do. Put the scale up. We'll put the 2 shot glasses. Oh, look at that. And they're zeroed. Alright, so this time we're going full manual because what we want to do is we want to extract on weight. This is what the pros do in the barista competitions and in the what's the big competition, the World Espresso or World Barista competition. This is how they'll do it, and you'll see them set up on the machines with a scale and measuring their shots. So time doesn't matter, we've already got the time set. With this guy, I can just hit go, and we're looking for 36 grams out of our double shot. And this is actually when we competed in the America's Best Espresso, we won 3rd place, and I was doing exactly the same. I was measuring and pulling all my shots manually. I'll stop it right there. Look at that. I missed just a fraction. I got 38 seconds. Look at those. Look at those for shots. Watch them settle out.
How many seconds?
I didn't measure seconds. I was
You
measuring
said
weight.
seconds. 38 seconds.
38.
Like what?
Yeah, 38 grams.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, so I was doing 38 grams on that one. And you can see how rich. You can see the shots coming out, and you can see the crema. And this is incredible. Super thick. Super sweet. Really, 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 really cool. Really easy to do. But so there you go. If you really want to geek it out, you can use your home espresso machine. You can take it to the next level. It's just about understanding what you're doing. It's about understanding the how to do it and what to do. And so anybody at home can go down this path, and you guys can do the exact same thing. Just need an easy to use kitchen scale and a couple of shot glasses, and away you go. So you can take these little guys to the next level using the manual button on this one. So if you're up for it every morning, you just want to go through the regular routine, come out, grind your coffee, give yourself an approximate of how much you want, how much you're using. Do a quick check on the scale if you want to, but that the 1 and the 2 shot buttons on these machines are calibrated, so with your calibration of these machines that you're getting exactly what you're looking for. So it's worth taking the time in the first, it takes less than 30 minutes to calibrate a home machine to say, yes, I'm doing exactly what I needed to do, and getting it done. So bye.
Bye, everyone in the house, literally.
Bye. So yeah, so you can just takes about 30 minutes. You set your grinder up, you set your coffee up, you set your zero up, and use your scale to get everything zeroed up, and you understand what's happening. And then it should be, if you got it all going the right way, it should all just be adjustment in the grinder, and the grinder only, and that's where you want it to be. So hopefully that's hopefully that's helping you guys out, gets you going in the right direction. Steaming milk is a whole nother animal, and it takes quite a bit of practice and quite a bit of time to get to the right level with that. So maybe that we can do that another day. Maybe Amy can get on the camera and do that another day, but we'll see. It's quite a unique feature and quite a unique way to do it all. Don't be afraid of it. They're not that difficult. It does take practice. It does take time, and it's easily achievable with practice. So there you go. I think you know. What else we got? Any questions out there? Guess who's watching where? Fire any questions at me you want, and I can help get you through the maze of espresso. You can do the same with almond breeze too. The alternatives. Yeah, that's it. Any more? Any more for any more? One thing I do like about this machine though is the that it uses 58mm. I've said this before, the 58mm group basket. And when we talk about the 58mm group basket, I'm talking about the inner diameter of the group basket. So the inner diameter here is 58mm, and it is pretty much a standard for many of the larger machines, the commercial machines, Rancilios and Simonellis, even La Marzocas, all using 58mm group baskets. Makes for, and the reason I like it and the reason a lot of the commercial guys will like it is that it gives us a broader coffee bed base for extraction. So the broader the base, the more water is in contact with more of the coffee initially, and it makes for a much more even push down through the coffee puck for better extraction versus pushing water down through a taller, smaller diameter coffee puck, when you're going to have a much more, you won't have a good flavor distribution coming down through a smaller diameter, longer coffee bed than you would if you had a broader coffee bed with a more shallow coffee bed base. So you'll actually get you won't get over extraction, and you won't get concentrated extraction, and a massive difference between the top of the coffee bed to the bottom of the coffee bed. So much more even, much nicer shots, and much better overall. That's it. Anything else? We'll give it a flush. Make sure you actually give it a flush as well. Make sure you use good water. I was actually going to bring in, I thought about bringing in some Zephyr Hills or some filtered water, but we didn't today. You can always, make sure that whatever water you use, and don't, I know here in Florida the water's not the greatest, so it's not worth filling directly from the sink. But definitely we run a filter system here, so definitely worth using great water. It does make a massive difference on what comes out of the machine, and yeah. All right, we're done, ski. This time. All right, we're going to wrap it. Places to go, soccer to watch, soccer to coach, all sorts of bits and pieces of fun all around the show. So we're going to be out of here, and I'll be back. I imagine I'll be back at 5:30, somewhere around there. All right, cool. Bye for now.